Merrifield Garden Center. We know plants.
Good morning, America. Supreme Court standoff. Republicans set a deadline for Brett Kavanaugh's accuser, Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, to testify, saying they need to know by tomorrow. Her lawyer fires back as the president stands by his nominee.
Very hard for me to imagine that anything happened.
The president visits the storm zone, meeting with rescue crews and survivors of Hurricane Florence as the Carolinas face a new threat from those rising rivers. Thousands of people still waiting to go home.
Urgent manhunt. This woman killed while jogging in a popular area of Washington, D.C. Now the desperate search for this man caught on surveillance camera.
And more accusers coming forward with new allegations against that surgeon and his girlfriend, charged with drugging and assaulting women. Police say there are more than 1,000 videos. Now a woman who went on a date with him just last year tells her story to GMA.
iPhone frenzy. The brand new Apple products about to be released, and the race to sell your old iPhone. How to get the most money possible and when to sell it.
And celebrating Sophia, the inspiring little girl whose 2 wishes to meet superstar Drake and get a brand new heart finally came true.
I'm getting a heart, Mom! Yes, it's amazing.
Now her new interview, how she's doing, and what Drake gave her that she'll never give away.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
Good morning, America. Hope Sophia brought a smile to your face.
Always does. And she is doing well, as you can see. And she's got a really inspiring message for everybody out there. And wait till you hear what Drake gave her. She just might be the luckiest fan in the world.
She is the sweetest one, that's for sure. We'll get to that later, but first we begin with that Supreme Court standoff. Republicans issuing a deadline telling Judge Brett Kavanaugh's accuser, Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, that she has until Friday to say whether she'll testify. Her lawyers are now firing back. ABC's senior national correspondent Terry Moran is at the Supreme Court and has the latest for us. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, Robin. Well, the clock is ticking. Senator Chuck Grassley, who's the Republican chairman of the Judiciary Committee, has set that Friday deadline, not just for Christine Blasey Ford to agree to testify, but to submit her statement in writing. Grassley says that committee rules, and he's doing this, he says, because the Constitution gives the Senate the exclusive responsibility to advise and consent on nominations, and it's the Senate that will investigate. That's not good enough for Christine Blasey Ford, and right now, there's no sign that anyone is budging. It's turning into a high-stakes game of chicken, the standoff between Republicans and the accuser of Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh.
We're not going to cancel any hearing until the last minute. I don't know what the last minute is, but until the last minute, in hopes that she'll take us up.
But Christine Blasey Ford insists she wants an FBI investigation before she'll testify. In a statement overnight, her lawyers saying a hearing that has only 2 witnesses is not a fair or good faith investigation, adding, the rush to a hearing is unnecessary and contrary to the committee discovering the truth. Blasey Ford alleges Brett Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her when the 2 of them were high school students decades ago. Kavanaugh denies the charges. President Trump says he'd like to hear from Blasey Ford, but patience could be running out.
I really would want to see what she has to say, but I want to give it all the time they need. They've already given it time. If she shows up, that would be wonderful. If she doesn't show up, that would be unfortunate.
Kavanaugh has already been preliminarily interviewed under oath by Republican committee staffers who said they have no reason to doubt the truthfulness of his testimony. This as his background has come under renewed scrutiny. Even this old joke about his high school has resurfaced.
The dean was reminding me before the talk, which is what happens at Georgetown Prep stays at Georgetown Prep. That's been a good thing for all of us, I think.
Republican lawmakers are moving ahead with a Monday hearing, offering Blasey Ford several options to be questioned publicly, in a private session, or by staffers at her home in California. The message from the GOP to Blasey Ford, show up or we're heading for a vote.
She said she wanted to appear, but if she changes her mind and refuses to appear, there's not much we can do. And so nothing really else would remain of the investigation and background of the judge, and we would vote on the nomination.
Even moderate Republican Senator Susan Collins of Maine, a key swing vote, doesn't see why they shouldn't proceed.
I don't think that she can reject all those options because otherwise there are these very serious allegations hanging over the head of a nominee who has emphatically denied them. And that's just not a good way for us to end.
Democrats are standing by Blasey Ford and the call for an investigation before she's put in front of senators for a grilling.
It's as though the Republicans have no sense, have they never dealt with sexual assault victims? Do they not read anything? Do they not know how hard it is for someone to come forward? Apparently not.
But Republicans, like Senator Dean Heller of Nevada, sound confident even before they've heard from Blasey Ford. Heller saying in a private conference call organized by the Nevada Republican Party Wednesday, "We got a little hiccup here with the Kavanaugh nomination. We'll get through this and we'll get off to the races." A little hiccup. Well, that candid moment shows what's really going on here. Politics. The Supreme Court has been the crown jewel of Republican politics for decades, and Kavanaugh's nomination represents the decisive opportunity to shift it to the right. But there is another kind of politics going on here. Women voters who are watching all this very closely. George?
Sure is. Let's look at the law and politics now. Thank you, Terry, with Chris Christie, former New Jersey governor, also former prosecutor, and our senior legal correspondent, Sunny Hassan, also former prosecutor. Sunny, let me begin with you. Dr. Blasey Ford now faces a big decision. There's not going to be an FBI investigation before Monday. Should she testify or not?
Well, I certainly think her story needs to be heard. I believe that she should testify, but only after an FBI investigation. What is shocking to me, actually, George, is that there is no protocol in place for something like this. No protocol in place when a Supreme Court nominee or any federal nominee has been accused of sexual assault or sexual harassment. This happened in 1991. There is a blueprint for this. When this Anita Hill situation happened, bottom line is by bipartisan agreement, the FBI investigated. The FBI interviewed Anita Hill. They interviewed Clarence Thomas. They had sexual assault and harassment experts testify. Some of the same members that are on the committee today were on the committee then.
I think your analysis...
Why are they confused?
Your analysis is spot on. That is what happened in the past. But for whatever reason, and you know, when you have the votes, you have the power. The FBI investigation isn't going to happen. So I go back to the question, do you think in that situation, does Dr. Ford say yes or no?
I think absolutely. I think she has to say yes because I think there is a need for public confidence in the Supreme Court nominee.
One of the things that they're looking at and that they're concerned about is, you know, the structure of the hearing, the rush nature of the hearing. If Dr. Ford asked for a few more days, asked for other expert witnesses to testify, would that be reasonable?
I don't think so, George. I think, you know, it's been 36 years. And we're talking about a much different situation than Anita Hill and Clarence Thomas for a few reasons. One, that was a much more recent event and much easier to investigate. Secondly, you had two adults that were...
Something's hard, it's not a reason not to do it.
No, George, but what are you going to get in the end of this, okay? This guy has gone through 6 background investigations in his career, including one that just happened 3 months ago. And none of this was ever revealed in these background investigations ever. What that tells you is there are not witnesses who are going to be able to talk about this one way or the other. And so what's an investigation going to really prove? In the end, what we need to hear is to hear from the professor. We need to hear from her. We need to hear her story. People need to judge her credibility, not only the senators that are sitting on that panel, the other senators in the entire body and the American people need to judge her credibility against Judge Kavanaugh's credibility. And an investigation won't do anything that it hasn't done already. They did a full field background investigation, George, and you know how extensive that is, and he's gone through it 6 times in his career.
I think that's really intellectually dishonest because we've both been through background checks when we were appointed, right, as federal prosecutors. And the bottom line is they need to reopen the background investigation. When you conduct a background investigation, some things don't come up. And when the FBI learns about things that haven't come up, they reopen up the investigation and they continue. That is the protocol. And the notion somehow that this happened 36 years ago, that it doesn't matter. Well, he was 17 years old. And the bottom line is...
it doesn't matter. You said it doesn't matter that I said it doesn't matter. I didn't say it doesn't matter.
What did you say?
I said it's more difficult to investigate something that happened allegedly 36 years ago. And when no witnesses have come forward, when they've done full backgrounds on him, starting as long ago as when he was first.
But they missed this.
Listen, they didn't miss it. She hasn't spoken to anybody about it, nor is there anybody who's come forward who said that they witnessed it or had ever heard about it. Now, you can't
They
tell me
haven't
that the
come
FBI
forward
missed
because the
everybody.
FBI hasn't investigated it yet.
You don't know who the FBI spoke to and who they didn't.
Well, they
you don't know
obviously
whether or
didn't
not
speak to Professor Ford.
No, you don't know that either. You don't know that Professor Ford didn't refuse to be spoken to. Up till this time, Professor Ford...
Oh, come on. There's no evidence of that.
George, we don't know that they didn't speak to her either. We don't know that they didn't ask any questions before.
I think it's pretty clear that they haven't spoken to her.
How do you know that? This is a woman who, up till 6 weeks ago, was demanding of Senator Feinstein and her own local congressperson that they keep her identity secret.
Just on that point, if she had been asked and refused, we would know that. They would tell us.
Of course we
Well,
would.
who would tell us, George?
The FBI would tell us, Republican senators would tell us. That news would get out if she had been interviewed.
George, it is not about being interviewed.
Or
it's
being
about
asked.
being asked. Well, I don't know that we would know that information.
I got to move on to something else before we go. President Trump yesterday continued this sort of unprecedented assault on his own attorney general. He gave this interview to the Hill magazine where he said, "I don't even have an attorney general." That led to an impromptu press conference on the White House lawn.
Hey, what did you mean when you said you don't have an attorney general? What do you mean by that?
I'm disappointed in the attorney general for numerous reasons, but we have an attorney general. I'm disappointed in the attorney general for many reasons, and you understand that. We are looking at lots of different things.
Isn't the situation getting untenable?
Well, it's been untenable for a long time. I mean, it's been untenable for a long time, but it's untenable for a bunch of reasons. One, because of the president's feelings towards the attorney general, which are obvious, but also because we're in the midst of a very serious investigation that's being conducted by the Justice Department. And I don't think the president has an option to fire Jeff Sessions right now, because if he did, it would create a political and a legal firestorm that he wouldn't be able to endure. So it's the combination of those two things, George. Their inability to work together.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Right. And so I think he's stuck until Bob Mueller is done. I think that the president is stuck with Jeff Sessions, and Jeff Sessions obviously wants to continue to be attorney general. So when you have those two things going on, this is what you see.
Crazy. Thank you both very much. Thanks. Let's go to Michael.
All right, thank you, George. As the battle in our studio cools off, the Supreme Court battle, it rages on Capitol Hill. President Trump visited the Carolinas Wednesday to see the devastation from Hurricane Florence. Thousands of people still waiting to go home days after the storm hit the region, killing at least 37. ABC's Marcus Moore is in Castle Hayne, North Carolina, with the latest. Good morning, Marcus.
Well, Michael, good morning. Take a look behind me here. You can see what the storm did to those docks. They're damaging them and really leaving people here enduring dangerously high water. And with many communities still cut off by the flooding, President Trump traveled to the Carolinas trying to bring a message of hope to those impacted. President Trump landed in the storm zone Wednesday, first in North Carolina, meeting with rescue crews and survivors who face a long road to recovery. One homeowner telling him insurance won't cover the damage to their property.
That's not good. The insurance company doesn't want to pay.
The president handing out hot meals.
How's the house?
And seen here embracing a young boy at a relief center. The president also visiting the town of Conway, South Carolina, walking through neighborhoods, greeting residents and local officials.
Anything I can do, you all know where to call me, and we will be there for South Carolina.
And the troubles expected to deepen as the rivers rise even higher here in this region. And as that happens, many people here are enduring rescues. There have been already about 2,000 rescues since Florence hit 1 week ago. Robin.
All right, Marcus, thank you very much. We're continue to think of all those in that area. Now to the release of one of Elizabeth Smart's captors, Wanda Barzee, walking free after 15 years behind bars. New images show her hours after her release. ABC's David Wright is here with more. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Robin. Wanda Barzee was part of the husband and wife couple who committed a crime that's probably every parent's worst nightmare, the kidnapping of a child. These are the first glimpses of Wanda Barzee as a free woman.
There is no reliable evidence to support speculation that Ms. Barzee presently poses a threat of any kind to the community.
Barzee, who helped kidnap Elizabeth Smart, spent 15 years in custody. Elizabeth Smart speaking out overnight about her release.
It certainly has been a roller coaster of emotion, and at the same time, I've received an outpouring of love.
Barzee was supposed to be locked up until 2024, but a new ruling by the Utah Board of Pardons said she deserved credit for time served in federal prison. In the past few weeks, Elizabeth Smart has opposed Barzee's release.
I believe that she is a danger and a threat to any vulnerable person in our community.
Barzee and her husband, Brian David Mitchell, were convicted of kidnapping Smart, then 14, in 2002. Taken at knife point from her Utah home, for 9 months, Smart endured the horror of daily sexual assaults before she was rescued.
It feels just like you're losing control of everything. You just feel like the world is coming to an end.
Now, Mitchell, the husband in this couple, is still in custody, serving 2 life sentences. Bottom line, he won't be getting out anytime soon.
Yes, but she is out. All right. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on now to a new report on sexual harassment in the Dallas Mavericks basketball team. Investigators have found a hostile culture for women at the team owned by billionaire Mark Cuban. Cuban already taking action to address the wrongdoing, and ESPN's Ryan Smith has the story.
The Dallas Mavericks are NBA champions.
They're one of the NBA's most valuable franchises.
As Mark Cuban gets to celebrate.
The Dallas Mavericks, led by charismatic owner Mark Cuban, known for his business skills and sharp tongue on ABC's Shark Tank.
Your marketing sucks.
But this morning, Cuban and his Mavericks facing the bite of a bombshell report, revealing multiple instances of sexual harassment and workplace misconduct over 2 decades, nearly all under Cuban's watch.
In hindsight, it was staring me right in the face and I missed it. You know, I think, you know, I wasn't as focused on the business as I should have been.
The 7-month-long investigation commissioned by the team after more than a dozen current and former Mavericks employees told Sports Illustrated the Mavericks' hostile work environment was an open secret. The magazine saying a pattern emerged of corporate culture rife with misogyny and predatory sexual behavior. Among the findings, misconduct allegations by over a dozen women against former team CEO Terdema Usri. And while Cuban himself was not accused of any wrongdoing, the report stating Cuban's decisions not to fire one employee accused of sexual misconduct and another of domestic violence represented significant errors in judgment.
I don't have any excuses. I'm not trying to justify. It's just I made a bad mistake, and it's not the only one, obviously, that I made.
Cuban now agreeing to donate $10 million to women's groups as a result of the report and committing to change.
The goal, even more than the money, is for me to get out there and teach others from my experiences.
When the Sports Illustrated story surfaced, Usri denied allegations of misconduct, calling them, quote, outright false and inflammatory accusations. Now, as for Cuban, when asked by ESPN if the possibility of selling the team was ever discussed, he replied, no, I don't run away from my mistakes. So he's taking this on head on.
Seems that way.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you, Robin. We're going to go to Ginger now, who's tracking a new storm bringing severe weather to the Midwest and the Northeast. Ginger?
Flash flood warnings this morning just south of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. The images that you see there really give you an idea of what's to come. Severe storms possible in parts of the Midwest today. Your local weather in 30 seconds. First, though, the Summer Cities, sponsored by Edward Jones.
So I got an offer on the business, and now I'm thinking I'd like to retire early.
Oh, that's great, Sarah. Let's talk about this when we meet next week.
How did Edward Jones come to manage $1 trillion in assets under care?
Jay?
Sarah, so I have a few thoughts on that early retirement.
By focusing our mind on whatever's on yours.
Well, getting out the door, temperatures are in the 60s. Dry at the bus stop for the kids this morning. A little patchy fog. We'll be warming up to 77 degrees by lunchtime. You will notice some added clouds by 3 o'clock as our high temperature reaches about 80 degrees. And by 7 o'clock, 76. So looking good for the Nationals game tonight. Overnight tonight, it'll become kind of cloudy. Your Friday starts off cloudy, but some sunshine through the afternoon, 83. Saturday, 83, but much cooler Sunday. We could have a chance of showers both days. Better chance for rain, though, on Sunday.
Coming up, the desperate manhunt underway after a woman was killed while jogging through Washington, D.C. in a popular area. Now authorities are looking for this person caught on surveillance camera.
And a woman who went on a date with that high-profile doctor now charged with drugging and assaulting women is telling her story. She knew something was seriously wrong.
Needles, essential for the cat.